Hello everyone, and welcome to my YNR Official 24 channel. Noah Newman, whose world is turned upside down in the most brutal way imaginable when he uncovers that the woman he trusted, commended in, and sluggishly began to love has been working for his own forefather Ichon, because it begins innocently enough, the way treason always does in Genoa City, with a gut feeling Noah sie and shake, a subtle shift in SIENNA'S jest. That gnaws at him late at night, when the megacity is quiet and the neon gleam of society reflects off the windows of Newman Media, where Noah finds himself working longer hours not because of deadlines but because commodity feels wrong. SIENNA'S questions are too precise, her curiosity too concentrated on Victor's rivals, and her unforeseen interest in internal Newman dynamics raises red flags Noah desperately wants to ignore, because after everything he's been through, the heartache. With Audra, the constant pressure of living up to the Newman name, the shadow of Victor's conglomerate, SIENNA felt like a fresh launch, someone outside the endless power games, someone who saw him rather than the surname, but cracks begin to show when Noah overhears her on the phone late one night in Crimson Lights, her voice low and critical as she slips into a corner, allowing no bone. Can hear, mentioning names like Jack Abbott, Kyle, and indeed Adam, and when she notices Noah watching her, the flash of fear in her eyes is gone in a moment, replaced by a soft smile and a flimsy reason that fails to settle his growing apprehension. And from that moment on, Noah starts paying attention, noticing how SIENNA always seems to know effects before they come public, how she subtly steers exchanges towards sensitive motifs, how she asks about Victor's coming move under the guise of concern. And the final straw comes when Noah stumbles upon a secure train on her tablet while she's in the shower at his extension, a moment he'll latterly wish he could abolish, because what he finds shatters him fully. Translated dispatches, burner figures, enciphered updates all traced back to one source, Victor Newman, the man who has erected and conglomerate on control, secretiveness, and manipulation, the man who has no way dithered to use his own family as pawns if it serves his lesser strategy. And as Noah scrolls through the dispatches with shaking hands, the verity becomes inarguable. SIENNA isn't just feeding Victor casual information. She's been bedded, placed in Noah's route designedly, reporting on his connections, his business moves, his emotional state, and most ruinous of all, on his vulnerabilities. Every fear and mistrustfulness Noah ever rumored to her now proved and delivered straight to the Black Knight himself. And when SIENNA steps out of the shower and sees Noah holding the tablet, his face blenched with treason, the silence between them is blaring, a heavy, suffocating pause before the falsehoods deteriorate, because Noah doesn't yell at first, he doesn't rage, he simply asks one quiet, broken question: how long? And SIENNA'S eyes fill with gashes as she tries to explain, averring it wasn't supposed to go this far, that Victor approached her months ago when she was hopeless, drowning in debt, promising security and protection if she kept him informed, swearing she no way meant to fall for Noah, that her passions came real. But the damage is done, because in Genoa City intentions mean nothing. Formerly trust is broken. And Noah's pain snappily turns to fury as he realizes this isn't just about him. It's about Victor's endless need to control every outgrowth, every person, every trouble to his heritage, and Noah storms out, leaving SIENNA blubbing on the bottom, while he heads straight to the Newman ranch for a battle that has been times in the timber. And when Noah eventually stands face to face with Victor, the air crackles with pressure. Victor formerly knowing why his grandson is there, because nothing escapes him, not indeed Noah's heartache. And when Noah accuses him of using SIENNA as an asset, Victor doesn't deny it, he doesn't apologize. He simply justifies it with chilling calm, claiming he was guarding the family, gathering information before adversaries like the Abbotts could strike, dismissing Noah's pain as contributory damage in a larger war. And that's when commodity in Noah snaps, because for the first time he truly sees Victor not as important primogenitor, but as a man unable of love without control. And Noah unleashes times of resentment, criminating Victor of destroying connections, poisoning trust, and turning everyone around him into chess pieces. And the battle is explosive, echoing through the estate as Nikki overhears from the staircase, her heart breaking as she realizes Victor has crossed yet another line, and the consequences ripple outward incontinently because word of Sienna's treason spreads presto, transferring shockwaves through Genoa City, making Kyle and Jack question how deep Victor's reach truly goes, forcing Adam to wonder whether he's next, and pushing Nikki to issue and claim that Victor may not be suitable to ignore this time, while Sienna, now exposed, becomes a leper, hunted by Victor's adversaries and abandoned by the man who promised to cover her, realizing too late that aligning with Victor Newman always comes at a ruinous cost. And as for Noah, the treason hardens him, reshaping his future in ways no bone anticipated, because this disclosure doesn't just break his heart, it awakens a dangerous resoluteness, a determination to step out of Victor's shadow formerly and for all, indeed if it means getting his forefathers' topmost adversary, setting the stage for a ruthless new chapter in the young and the restless, where secrets no longer stay buried, fidelity is an armament, love is a liability, and the most painful backstabbings come not from adversaries, but from the people you trust the most. I am really shocked by what Nick and Noah are talking about. Sienna is getting really desperate, so she needs help. Sienna listens in on Nick and Noah when they are at Sharon's place. Noah can tell that his dad is really hurting. He says he is totally freaked out about them having Matt in the trunk of the car. Nick tells Noah that he does not need to know what is going to happen with Matt. Sienna keeps listening as Nick says that no one is going to change his mind about making Matt disappear. Noah thinks they should give Matt to the Gotham City Police Department. His dad does not like that idea at all. Nick and Noah are talking about what to do with Matt, and Sienna is trying to figure out what is going on. Sienna is trying to get some help because she is worried about what Nick and Noah are planning to do with Matt. Nick is not going to let anyone talk him out of his plan to make Matt disappear. Sienna is getting more and more desperate. Noah says this is crazy. He does not know if it is really his dad talking or if it is the pills that are making him talk like this. Nick says he should have stopped this a time ago. Nick yells at Noah and Sienna sneaks. Sienna goes to Victor for help. Adam goes to the ranch to see his father and tells him what the IT team is going to do to fight against the artificial intelligence. Victor says he will not let someone like Ashby ruin what Victor has worked hard to build. Victor will do everything to stop Ashby and the artificial intelligence. Victoria joins them. She is complaining about dealing with the press. The press is really giving them a time. Victor says they are in trouble. He is very upset. Thinks about letting the authorities handle this problem. His daughter tells him that if they do that they could get in trouble too, because they use the intelligence. Sienna is let in by the security people. She asks Victor for his help. After Adam and Victoria leave, Sienna tells Victor that she needs his help with something. She wants Victor to stop his son from hurting Matt Clark. Victor's son is a problem. Sienna wants Victor to do something about it. The artificial intelligence is still an issue and Victor is worried about what will happen next. Victor tells Sienna that she made the decision by coming to him. Sienna is really scared that everything will get messed up and the people she cares about will get hurt. She wants what is best for Noah. She wants to be with Noah and have a life with him. She does not think she can stay in Genoa City. Sienna thinks that Noah will be angry with her someday. Victor thinks that Sienna might be right about this. He agrees with Sienna that Noah will resent her eventually. Sharon and Noah try to talk to Nick. They go back to Sharon's place. Noah tells his dad that he and the Abbotts are in trouble now. They do not want to get in trouble. Noah says his dad needs to stop his plans for Matt. He does not think his dad can live with himself if he hurts Matt. Sharon comes downstairs. She is surprised to see Nick there. Noah tells her what happened. He says Nick caught Matt. Now he wants to get rid of him. Sharon gets why Nick wants to do this. She does not think it is a good idea. Sharon and Noah want to talk Nick down. They want him to change his mind about Matt. Nick is at Sharon's place. They are trying to reason with him. People can see that Nick is in a lot of pain, and they think he should go back to the hospital. Sharon says that Nick is not strong enough to deal with Matt now. She also thinks that Nick would not be able to handle killing someone. Sharon remembers when she thought she had killed Heather, it really bothered her. Adam and Victoria meet Chelsea at Crimson Lights. Chelsea tells Adam and Victoria that it is funny that they are now getting the kind of bad press that they were giving Jabot a little while ago. She cannot spin things forever. Everyone thinks that Victor is looking really tired, like he has had enough. Adam says that Kane could win, and they might all end up with nothing. Victoria is worried that the fight with Ashby is going to be too much for their dad. She is also worried about what this will do to the kids. The Newman family business is being taken away from them. Chelsea tells Victoria everything will be okay. They wonder why Sienna came to the ranch. The Newman legacy is very important to them. They do not want to lose it. Victoria is scared that they will lose everything that Victor has worked for. The Newman family is counting on Victor to keep their business safe. Victoria thinks that her dad really does not need this now, especially after he got shot. Then Adam says he'll do something to hurt Kane and Phyllis. Victor goes to Sharon's place with Sienna. He talks to Nick. Nick thinks that his dad Victor has come to try and stop him from doing something. Victor tells Nick to give him Matt. He will take care of everything. Nick says, not this time. Victor asks Nick not to be as stubborn as Victor is. Nick reminds him that Matt has tormented him for decades. He needs to be the one to end this. Sharon warns this will only make Nick feel hollow and ashamed. She's confident Victor can resolve this. When Nick asks his dad what he would do, Victor says it's best that no one knows. Nick wants details, but the others are fine with not knowing. Sienna set up herself firmed just outside the threshold of society, her breath caught in her casket as Nick and Noah's hushed but critical discussion revealed into the hallway like a concession no way meant to be heard, every word slicing through her resoluteness and exposing a verity she had stressed but no way completely accepted, because what began as a father-son discussion about fidelity and protection snappily unraveled into commodity far darker, an involved web of secrets involving Newman power plays, old vendettas, and a brewing trouble that suddenly placed Sienna exactly in the line of fire, and as she heated, heart-pounding, it came sorrowfully clear that Nick was trying to shield Noah from the consequences of a dangerous alliance gone awry, one that had brushed too close to Sienna's own once choices she had made believing she could control the fallout, only to realize now that the storm was far bigger than she imagined, with Nick advising Noah that some adversaries no way forget and others no way forgive, especially when Newman blood and pride are involved, while Noah, torn between guilt and defiance, claimed that the verity couldn't stay buried ever, that secrets rot from the inside and destroy everything they touch, a statement that landed like a verdict in Sienna's cognizance, because she knew all too well what secrets could do. Having erected her life in Genoa City on precisely curated trueness and strategic silences, and yet hearing Nick say her name downward, conservative and edged with concern, was the moment her knees nearly buckled, because it verified what she had dreaded. She was no longer an observer, but a liability, someone whose presence could cock the balance and enkindle a chain response that might bring Noah everything, and as Nick prompted his son to stay down from her for now, claiming it was for everyone's protection, Sienna felt a rush of treason so sharp it stole her breath. Indeed, though she understood the instinct behind it, because Nick Newman protects his family above all differently, indeed if it means immolating someone additional's heart, and as Noah argued back, defending Sienna, averring she was the adversary, and that she merited to know what was passing, Sienna's feelings collided. Relief that Noah still believed in her, sweat that his fidelity would put him in peril, and wrathfulness that opinions about her life were being made without her concurrence, and when the discussion shifted to the real trouble, a shadowy figure from the once resurfacing with a vendetta tied to a failed deal and a stolen advantage, Sienna realized the timepiece was ticking, because this wasn't just about love or family pressure presently. It was about survival in a megacity where power is currency and weakness is penalized. And as Nick eventually lowered his voice and said, "If Sienna gets caught in the crossfire, she will," and walked down from it, the weight of those words settled deep in her casket, forcing her to defy the verity that she could no longer pretend she was safe or anonymous, and with her hands pulsing, she backed down before she could be seen, her mind contending through every option, every supporter, every mistake that had led her to this moment, knowing that defying Nick or Noah right now would only escalate effects. But doing nothing would be just as dangerous, because Sienna had learned long ago that in Genoa City, vacillation can be fatal, and as she slipped out into the cold air, recollections swamped back of the one person who had always navigated heads with a blend of cunning, compassion, and an uncanny capability to stay three-way ahead. Sharon, the woman who understood loss, secrets, and alternate chances better than anyone, and yet indeed, as Sienna considered reaching out, mistrustfulness eroded at her, because asking for help meant exposing her deepest fears and conceivably entwining someone she watched about. But despair has a way of stripping pride bare, and as her phone buzzed with a communication she didn't fate, just a single line that read, "You should be careful who you trust," Sienna's resoluteness hardened, because now she knew she was being watched, and the trouble Nick indicated to was nearer than anyone realized, forcing her to act presto, suppose smarter, and choose her abettors wisely. And in that moment, Sienna made a decision that would change everything. She wouldn't run, and she wouldn't hide. Rather, she'd seek help on her own terms, starting with Sharon. Also, maybe indeed someone unanticipated like Adam, whose complicated relationship with the Newmans made him both a threat and implicit guard, because if anyone knew how to survive when the Newman machine turned ruthless, it was Adam. And as Sienna moved through Genoa City with new purpose, she couldn't shake the echo of Noah's voice defending her, fueling her determination to cover him indeed if it meant stepping directly into the fire. And when she eventually sat across from Sharon, the weight of everything she had eavesdropped poured out in a rush. Nick's warnings, Noah's defiance, the unnamed adversary circling near, and Sharon heated with that familiar blend of empathy and quiet strength, offering not easy answers, but commodity, far more precious clarity, reminding Sienna that fear thrives in silence, and that occasionally, the bold thing you can do is bring secrets into the light, indeed when it hurts. Advice that reverberated deeply as Sienna realized the verity might be her only armament, and yet as the pieces began to align, another consummation actualized on her with chilling clarity. The discussion she eavesdropped may not have been accidental at each, and the possibility that someone wanted her to hear it transferred a shiver down her spine, because manipulation in Genoa City is an art form, and if she had been baited, also the game was formally in stir, raising the stakes indeed higher and forcing Sienna to question not just who was hanging her, but who was pulling the strings. And as she left Sharon with a conditional plan and a renewed sense of strength, Sienna knew the road ahead would be brutal, filled with competitions, exposures, and choices that would test her morals and her heart, especially when she'd inescapably have to face Nick and Noah, demand the verity, and decide whether love was worth the peril it invited, because in the young and the restless, nothing stays buried ever, and as alliances shift and secrets explode, Sienna's hopeless turn for help may be the spark that exposes a far-reaching conspiracy, one that could fracture the Newman family formally again, and review where Sienna truly stands, not as a pawn, but as a player willing to fight for her future, no matter the cost. And just when Sienna believed she had recaptured some sense of control, fate delivered another brutal twist, because as she stepped back into the chaos of Genoa City, she crossed paths with Noah suddenly, his expression a mixture of solicitude, confusion, and unmistakable guilt, making it sorrowfully clear that he tasted commodity had changed between them, and though Sienna tried to mask her fear with determination, Noah saw straight through it, gently pressing her to tell him what was wrong, forcing her to defy the moment she had been dreading, because now she had to decide whether to cover him with silence or recognize his faith in her with a verity. And as she eventually admitted she'd eavesdropped his discussion with Nick, the color drained from Noah's face, his shock snappily giving way to wrathfulness, not at Sienna, but at his father for trying to control the situation behind unrestricted doors. And in that moment, Sienna realized just how deep Noah's fidelity ran, indeed as it scarified her, because the more he pushed back against Nick, the more dangerous this situation could come, and as Noah pledged that he wouldn't let anyone hang her or push her out of his life, Sienna's heart swelled and cracked all at formerly, knowing that love in Genoa City frequently comes with a ruinous price label, and as if the macrocosm itself wanted to emphasize that verity. Nick appeared moments latterly, his defensive instincts glaring the Alternate, he saw the pressure between them, setting the stage for an ineluctable battle that would expose raw feelings, buried resentments, and the fault lines within the Newman family, with Sienna standing at the center of it all, no longer just a secret or a concern rumored in private, but a woman demanding answers and agency over her own fate, because whatever peril was coming, she refused to face it in the dark. And as the three of them locked eyes, implied trueness hanging heavy in the air, it came clear that this was only the morning, and that Sienna's hopeless turn for help had formally begun to reshape alliances, enkindle conflict, and propel the young and the restless toward yet another explosive chapter where love, power, and survival collide in ways no bone can control.